Giving all the praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, name of the one who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, who's a so-called black man according to the King James Version Bible, giving double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, my spiritual fathers who taught me all I know, for the spirit, purpose, and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Shout out to the elect, 104.4K, and the remnant, the 1/3. Do this video, talk about it. It's big news. Everyone's talking about it. You know, it's just this is what's going on right now. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's commenting on what's going on over there in the land of Israel, the whole situation over there between the Palestinians and the Israelis, right? Everyone's protesting pretty much around the world in support of the Palestinians, the oppression of the Palestinians, because everyone knows the truth that pretty much, well, is known that that's the land of the Arabs, the Palestinians, originally. And the Israelis, they got that land, or pretty much lordship or rulership, ownership of those lands, access to those lands unjustly under British colonialism. The Balfour Declaration, which signed by the British for the Zionists, or, you know, the Ish people to migrate to that land, and under British rule can then pretty much take that land from the Arabs, the Palestinians, and force the Palestinians out of their homes by use of arms, right? And ever since that, this has all pretty much happened during the early 1900s. The Balfour Declaration was signed and or recognized in 1917 by the British. And the British, we all know the British, they're the Ish people, you know, the Rothschilds and them. So obviously, they're all one of the same people, pretty much. So now, pretty much from that point on, you'd have seen skirmishes and you know, battles and bloodshed. There's been continual bloodshed between the Arabs and the Israelis of that land. Now, the state of Israel, the actual state where the Ish people became an actual state and nation within that land, was in 1948, right? And yeah, but my thing is this: we that's in this truth, we're not in support of either of them, because it's not either of their lands, the Arabs or the Ish people. Now, they're both Shemitic. They both descend from Shem or Abraham. Abraham was a descendant of Shem. But that land, they're not neither of them are native to that land. The Arabs got there pretty much due to the Muslim conquests of the 7th century, the 6th, 7th century, man. Right? That's how they got up into that land. The Muslim conquests or crusades, where the Arabic Muslims tried to subject the whole world underneath Islam. So I'll care about this, right? You see, but prior to that, who was in those lands? Okay, who was in those lands during the time of the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire? Cyrus gave a proclamation to what people to go and rebuild the temple? The Israelites, right? The word Jew, that was a term detonated to the southern kingdom of our people, the so-called Negroes, because there was 3 tribes: Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the so-called Negroid-looking tribes. So they were all referred to as Jews. So pretty much, they were ordered to go back to that land by the order of Cyrus and rebuild the temple that was burnt down by the Edomites during the time when the Babylonians came and desecrated that land. All right? So now, right, so that's our land, okay? He was paying taxes to the Romans, the Roman Empire, during the time of the Roman Empire, in that land of what you call now Palestine. That was my people. My people was the ones doing that, not the Arabs. Okay. So, you know, this is of a truth. We're not in support of either side. But I'm going to get this now. So let me get this real quick. So look here, this is the bear me for a sec. This is so this is 2nd Esdras chapter 6 verse 27. For evil shall be put out and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which had been so long without fruit shall be declared. Who's declaring the truth? Us, the prophets. We're the ancient prophets back in the flesh, reincarnated. We're born, those spirits, the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets, as stated in first or 2nd Corinthians. One of Paul's epistles to the brothers in Corinth, Greece, stated that the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. So we, the prophets, are back again in the flesh, in the reincarnation, back in the flesh, to declare this truth and to quench deceit. Who's bringing the deceit, the deception? The Ish people, man, the so-called white man, the Edomites, right? They're the deceiver. They're deceiving the whole world. They're the serpent, the devil that deceived the whole world. And that's what they've done. They use their media to propagate lies. They push their propaganda, right? Oh, we're the greatest Holocaust. You know, everyone should have sympathy on us. It's all about sympathy, just playing the victim game, right? The blame game. Oh, they're the terrorists. Oh, these people, they're the terrorists. You are the terrorists, man. The Heavenly Father blessed you with the sword. All right? Going back to our father, Isaac, which is the father of the so-called Negroes, indigenous people of America, the so-called native Indians, and the quote-unquote Caucasians and the Ish people, right? Our lineage goes back to Jacob, who was a son of Isaac, and then you are wicked twin brother, you Caucasians. You're the children of Esau, Edom, which is the wicked twin brother, fraternal twin brother of Jacob. And our father is Isaac, who was the son of Abraham. Right? And we're all Shemitic. We're all Shemitic. Shalom. Yes. Right? So we're the ones bringing out the truth in these times. So let's get this. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Right, so when you in this truth, right, you knowing that you're an Israelite, you're instructed to measure the times that you're in. You gotta pay attention to the times that you're in, right? You gotta measure the times that you're in, man. Right? There's certain signs that indicate that we're at the end. That's what it says. They're trying to understand the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Listen, the Heavenly Father is about to send his right arm man, his right hand man, Yahweh Shai, to visit this earth. And we have to be ready. We have to be ready to the marriage, right? And there's certain signs that are indicating that day, that time. Let's read on to it. It says, therefore then there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. Are we not seeing that? Are we not seeing that? There's earthquakes all around the world. In Turkey, see that massive earthquake in Turkey, right? Libya, Haiti, different earthquakes around the world. I can't even there's so many earthquakes I can't even keep up with it. I can't even remember all of it. You're gonna have to Google the amount of earthquakes that's been happening, that's been taking place from now and within the past 5 or 10 years. So many. Okay, so we know that we're in that very same time. Earthquakes and what uproars of the people. What's the latest uproar of the people? This whole situation over there in Palestine. Right, the whole Palestinian and Israeli conflict. Pretty much between the Hamas group, okay, which is the militant group of Gaza, and the Israelis, man. So everyone is in support of the Palestinian people. The whole world pretty much is protesting in support of the Palestinians free, the Palestinians, right, the so-called Arabic people, the Ishmaelites, the descendants of Ishmael. And Ishmael, the patriarch Ishmael, right, or the progenitor of the Arabic peoples, Ishmael, he was a son of who? Abraham. So those Arabs are Shemitic. So everyone, they're in support of, the freedom of the Arabic peoples. That's their land. And, the Israelis, they're doing all these injustices by trying to remove the native people of that land out of that land. And really, they're not the native people of that land. Huh? Okay? And the whole world is going to know it when Yahweh Shai visits this earth and makes this grand salvation of his people. Lord willing, I'm a part of that. Brothers, that are of, Negroid and Native American descent, you're part of that. The elect, right? So that's it. Earthquakes and uproars of the people. So the whole latest thing that we're seeing now is this guy, the former leader of the Hamas group. I don't know his name, but he's pretty much calling for all Muslims around the world to rise up in jihad, right? Which is the Islamic holy war of the Muslims, right? In support of the whole situation of the Palestinians there, right? But my thing is that they're set up. That man there, that former leader of the Hamas group, he's set up. He's set up because he's saying on this day that all Muslims should rise up in jihad, right? Which is Friday the 13th of October. Friday the 13th of October. If anybody knows anything about that day, if you do the research, that's the day that the Knights Templars were arrested under the order of Philip the Beautiful of France in 1307. Friday the 13th of October 1307. The early 13th century. The Knights Templars, the Knights of that order, the Knights Templar order, were arrested, right? They were tortured and they were executed because they were accused of like the whole the initiation ritual of that order for the warriors of that order was that they would have to engage in certain rituals, initiation rituals, such as homosexuality, men making out with one another and kissing one another, and denouncing Christ 3 times and spitting on the cross 3 times. So they were accused of that, right? So that justified Philip executing the Knights Templars. Now that goes into the whole history of the whole order was set up, but pretty much the Knights Templars that influenced the Freemasons, because the Masons and the Knights Templars back in prior to the 1307, during that time with the Knights Templars, they worked side by side, because the Knights Templars, they built up certain cathedrals, certain churches and stuff like that, right? And you had bankers, you had financial things going on like bankers and stuff like that. Even the whole concept of the note, right, originated from the order of the Knights Templars. The whole concept of the note, right? Like a note is basically like a receipt showing that you've pretty much put away a certain amount of money into the banks. And then the banks will give you a note saying that you have this amount of money stashed away somewhere with them, right? And then, you know, you go to the Holy Land, the land of Israel, you show that note to the order of the Knights Templars, and they'll reimburse you with that same money, that note showing that you have this amount of money, signed by the French bankers, and everything. Like the French bankers are the Knights Templars. And also that whole concept of the note goes back to the Knights Templars. So you had that whole order, but that influenced the Masons, which you have today. Okay, this whole secret order, certain initiation rites that had to be performed. That all goes back to the Knights Templars, man. Okay, and now you have showing you that it's still been carried on. And obviously, when Philip, the Beautiful of France, when he pretty much desecrated the Knights Templars in 1307, what did the Knights Templars do? The different Masons and everything like that. What did they do? They went to Scotland. They went to Germany. So the first, what do you call it? The lodges, the Masonic lodges of England, Britain, was up there in Scotland, man. Scotland, right? There's certain Masonic lodges in Germany. And it was all, and those lodges were built in like fashion to Solomon's temple, like this. You had the pillars and stuff like that. The way those lodges was built, man, and you know, constructed, was in like manner to the temple of Solomon, and that's where the whole Knights Templar goes back to, man. So this whole Knights Templar influenced the Masons, man, right? But there's the links and comparisons. I'm not gonna go all deep into that, but that, you know, that's all that. But the whole Friday, the 13th of October, right? That goes back to pretty much the annihilation of the Knights Templar underneath Philip the Beautiful of France. And that's why they call that day Black Friday. Black Friday. So this guy, the former leader of the Hamas group, he's set up, man. He's set up. It's not a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. This man set up the Hamas group. And that's why, going back to the writings of, what's his name? Mr. Nasty Man. This guy, one of the prolific leaders of the Masonic group. Damn, this goes off the top of my head. Damn. Salakio. I don't gotta look it up. Sorry. What's this, man? Albert Pike. Sorry. Albert Pike. Right? Albert Pike. Albert Pike. According to the letters of Albert Pike, you know, what was he saying? He's saying that this whole conflict, the Third World War conflict, he wants it to be about the Israelis versus the Muslim world. And that's what we're seeing. Okay? That's what we're seeing. So it's not a coincidence that they tried to say Friday the 30th of October, boom, all Muslims rise up in jihad. Okay, so we know this man it's gotta be set up. It's a setup thing. Okay, it's a setup thing. Right? So yeah, there's uproars of the people around the world. But this shows you that we're not what they say? It says we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. right? We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. I want to bring this out. This is Psalms. Psalm 64, verse 5. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. So it's all about a trap to entrap, the people in their plans, their NWO plan, right? It's a big plan, it's a big snare that these globalists, these Masonic, people are part of this secret society, these Knights Templars people, they're trying to entrap and snare the people in their plan, their NWO plan. They said they commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? Right, because it's secret societies that they have. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thoughts in every one of them, and the heart is deep. Right, that's what they do. They search out iniquities, because as you know, the Knights Templars, they were accused of engaging in certain paganistic, satanic, anti-Christian rites of homosexuality and spitting on the cross and denouncing the Messiah, right? These are the accusations that were formed against them. Whether they were true or false, we don't know, but these are certain accusations that were laid against them to justify destroying that whole order at the time, right? So what's the Illuminati and the Masons doing? They're incorporating those same values into their order: homosexuality, Satanism, right? So they're the new Knights Templars, pretty much. Right. Verse 7, but the Most High shall shoot at them. Verse 7, the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. What's their wound? The nuclear destruction. The arrow represents the missiles. Okay? This is all metaphoric. There's the Heavenly Father destroying their supposed accomplishments, their whole enterprise. The Heavenly Father is going to destroy it when Yahweh Shai comes back with power and great glory. And at that same time, that's when America will be destroyed by nuclear destruction, right? And the plans of the super elite, the global elite, will be laid low in the dirt, right? Verse 8, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Right, so it said their own tongue gonna fall upon them. How their own tongue gonna fall upon them? Because they're exposing themselves, man. Their own tongue is falling upon themselves. They're exposing themselves. Here it is, you got the practicing Ish people, the Orthodox Ish people, the ones that wear the black hats and the black coats. They're supporting the Palestinian movement. They're supporting the Palestinian protesting. How are you going to have the Orthodox-ish people supporting the Palestinian people? Aren't they supposed to be supporting their own people, the Israeli people? You got the practicing Judaistic-ish people supporting the Palestinians, saying straight up that, yeah, the Palestinians are in their rights and everything like that. And, the Israeli government is a Zionist movement about apartheid and a British or Western colonialism. So they're pretty much exposing their own people, right? And they're admitting at the very same time they're not God's chosen people. There's even clips of them admitting that they're not the Lord's chosen people. That the very same people that their forefathers enslaved, those are the chosen people of the Heavenly Father, the so-called Negroid and indigenous people of America, right? Because these these Israeli people, they don't refer to themselves as Israelites. There's no such thing as Ish people or Israelis. That never existed. There's no such thing as the ancient Israelis or the ancient Ish people. Right? That was never their land. So that was all Zionistic colonialism of the West. That's all that was. So their own tongue is falling upon themselves. Their own people are exposing the wickedness of their own people. Right? Well, now, let me get this now, Salakio. We're in a time is Revelation 16, verse 12, and the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates. I'm going to close out at 30 minutes. Upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. So, the great river Euphrates is one of the great rivers of one of the four great rivers. The river Euphrates is alongside the Hiddekel or the Tigris River. Right? Those are the two rivers running through the Middle East. Then you have Pison running through Saudi Arabia, and then you have Gihon, or the river Nile, running through the land of Egypt and Ethiopia. Euphrates is dried up. Pretty much. There's pretty much nothing much left of it. Because we're living in that time. That's a sign of the times. That we're living in the time where the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. The Euphrates River will be dried up so that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. Are we not seeing that? The Muslim world is pretty much coming together. Why? Because the least of the flock is drawing them out, man. The least of the flock, who is that? The Ish people, the quote-unquote Israelis, is drawing them out. They're acting on their blessing, which is the sword, trying to claim that land for themselves. Right? They'll say that's our land. They're not practicing Ish people. It's all political for them. They just want that land. They don't follow the laws and commandments. You got straight up booty cheek people. You got them booty cheek people, the Sodomites, having their little celebration there in Tel Aviv. Right? Their little rights day in Tel Aviv. You got kosher pork. So they don't care nothing about the commandments. Right? They're not practicing Ish people. It's all political for them. They just want that land. And they will kill. They just see the Arabs as Goy people. Right? Expendables. Just, there's idolaters. Meaning, according to them, we can kill them. We can wipe them out. We can starve them to death. We can deprive them of food, water, and gas, electricity. Which is what they're doing. They're initiating blockade against the Gazarians, the people of Gaza, which are the Arabs, the Palestinians. Man. Right? That's what they're doing. So what's that causing? That's going to cause now, most likely in the upcoming times, that might cause the Hezbollah, which is the militant group of Lebanon, to defend and help out their brothers. Okay? In pretty much in jihad. And the Syrians, the Arabs of Lebanon, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, the Muslims of Iraq and Iran. If they go and get involved, who else do you think is going to get involved? Russia. Russia's going to get involved. And Russia, Putin has made it very clear to America that if you try to get involved, right, with this whole conflict with the Palestinians and the Israelis, we're going to get involved. Because Putin said he's backing the Palestinians. Man. So that's straight up and down. So it says what? In Revelation 16, the middle of verse 12, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. So those are the kings of the east, there's different Muslim Arabic nations. which are in league with Russia, China, right? This whole BRICS coalition. So that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing, man. Right? And we're at 30 minutes, so I'm gonna shut it down. So that's what I was just talking about, this whole situation over there in the Middle East, this whole Palestinian and Israeli conflict. And like I said, we're not in support of either of the sides because we're the Israelites. You know, that's our land, and the Israelite and the people over there will never know peace. That land will never ever know peace as long as my people, the true Israelites, the people that are hated, the true oppressed people, are not back in their homeland again. Our native homeland that was promised to us during the time of our ancient forefather Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, right? That land will never know peace, according to the sayings of what's his name, forget his name, the former president of Egypt. Forget his name. What was his name? Abdel Nasser. That's it. Abdel Nasser said that the people of that land, the true Israelites of that land, left black, but they came back white. So that land is never going to know peace because the real people of that land are not there. So I'll say that, we'll close out. Shalom.